Tonight we're going to be looking at changes from diverse multicultural families to increases in population.
Good evening. Tonight in Global News Network, we'll take a look at the past 50 years with changes in sustainability across the globe. We'll see changes from small community living in Adelaide to canal gardens in Amsterdam. But first let's take a look at Melbourne. So 50 years ago, Melbourne was a dynamic and rapidly growing city, with a population of just under 4 million. People were living the great Australian dream of large houses with big backyards, and we were big consumers. All this changed when climate change started to take its toll. We realised that our excessive use of resources was impacting natural systems, and this resulted in severe heat waves and floods. After passing a number of laws to change the way we use and produce products, we then saw a shift to a sharing culture. We no longer needed to own everything, but have property that was shared amongst the community. Then was a shift to low-impact urban housing. Moving from family unit to low-density houses, we saw a shift to shared living, environmentally integrated with urban communal villages. This incorporated elements of the sharing culture, increased green space, and helped to integrate our ever-increasing migrant population into the community. Another major milestone was the development of virtual reality technology. This allowed people to work from home. This meant spending more time with the family, health benefits, and also helped new citizens keep their jobs when migrating to Melbourne. So Melbourne is now a more happier, greener, and more inclusive town. So let's turn to Adelaide to see how they've changed in the past 50 years.
Breaking news from Adelaide, South Australia, where the apocalyptic climate crisis of the century has forced civilization to revert back to simple living and establish so-called eco-villages. The overarching goal is to allow the environment to heal and flourish after the crisis event that wiped out more than 3/4 of the human population globally. People have banded together and are cooperating in order to fight for survival. The recently signed 2067 Peace Treaty reflects the realizations that humans must shift their focus from money and power to their survival and the health of the planet. Tribal communities of the area have influenced lifestyles, and citizens are looking at Indigenous Australians to learn how to live in harmony with the land. Small-scale hunting and farming is supplying small communities with food, and trade is being done between local communities rather than globally. Money has been outlawed altogether, and as a result, goods and services are being traded among people. Councils have risen from these communities, creating a small-scale democratic system in which these councils come together in order to manage surrounding and shared land. Borders have been completely removed, however the concept of migration does not exist, since as you are all well aware, the climate crisis led to limited travel and transportation means. Public pressure and violence has forced governments into accepting a less indulgent, more traditional and low technological lifestyle, since it is evident that our past indulgent lives were what had created this mess. A balance between human and environmental needs, as well as radical change and sustainability, is paramount to human survival. That's all from me, thanks, and back to Ryan in the studio.
Thanks, Anna, that sounds great. Now let's turn to Magda in London.
Hello Ryan. London in 2067 has become a popular place for many generations to settle comfortably. Since the opening of the borders in 2017, many things have changed and many improved. It is a very popular place for different types of migration, however they are all culturally homogeneous. Specific neighborhoods are all reserved for people from one nation. We could say we created countries within one state. Different suburbs have been created, such as Marylebone became France-le-Bon, and Mayfair, Spain. It is one of the least racist places right now, as everyone is able to travel within one city to familiarize themselves with the cultures. It does feel like everyone is educated and appreciates the possibility of integration. Mixed families, of course, are welcome within one or another suburb. I spoke to one of the inhabitants of London, Louise, originally from France. Louise, after a tiring day in the office, surrounded by people from different backgrounds, gets back home to be by her own nation, celebrating the same holidays and same traditions. She expressed it very well how much she appreciates multiculturalism, mentioning that she loves to take her kids to South Mexico as they all love Mexican food. Her kids are attending Saturday language school, learning Mandarin with Chinese kids in their own suburbs. She said that we are all citizens of the world, living abroad all together but keeping our own traditions. Thank you very much, Ryan.
Thanks, Mag. That sounds fantastic. Now we're going to go to Jib in Phuket.
Hi, thank you, Ryan. I'm standing here at Padong Beach, one of the most famous beach on Phuket Island. 50 years ago, these beaches were full of shops and restaurants. You couldn't see any trees in this area. But look at how clean and green of Padong Beach today. This year, Phuket is awarded as the most sustainable city in the country. Phuket Municipality will celebrate this award as 40 years No Border and Sustainable Program. Since 2027, Phuket decided to open the border and at the same time promote the sustainable program. As citizens need to earn their sustainable point by participating in any qualified sustainable activities. This point can be rewarded to a variety of choices such as tax reduction. As you can see on green on my background, here is showing how successful this program is. Next weekend, Phuket Municipality will turn this beach into one of the most biggest festivals in the country with the theme of culture and nature. There will be food and products from different countries, but they will focus on natural and local resources. This is really exciting, how the local ingredients could become variety of food from all over the world. Maybe we will see coconut pizza or coconut taco, who knows. So come check it out yourself here at Padong Beach next weekend, both Saturday and Sunday from 10 to midnight. I will be sticking here until next weekend to see this exciting festival. Thank you for watching. Now back to Ryan in studio.
Thanks, Jeb. That sounds great. Now we're going to go to Sabrina in Amsterdam.
This is Sabrina reporting from Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Today is the anniversary of 40 years of open borders in this country. While today the city looks lively and full of happy people, this was completely different 50 years ago. 50 years ago, the citizens of Amsterdam were not that well connected. While Amsterdam has always been a tolerant and inclusive city, there were still issues with migrants and their acceptance. Also, while there were some parks located throughout the city, they were not being used to their full potential. The business district in the city was growing, which might have been good for economic growth, but this also meant that the focus was only on improving the economy instead of on bettering the lives of the citizens in the city. In the last 50 years, much has changed in the city. While we can still see the iconic kennel houses clearly, they are now surrounded by vegetable gardens and greenery. Amsterdam has been divided into different zones in which communities live together. They also grow 80% of the food they consume in the vegetable plots in the city or just outside of it. Migrants also play a large role in the city. The aim is to get every new migrant coming into the city to feel at home immediately and to feel as if they can contribute to the community. There are many programs and citizen initiatives that aim to make this happen. The citizens of Amsterdam will likely be celebrating the anniversary of the open borders all day today, together with all the migrants that are now also part of the community. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Sabrina. And now finally we'll go to Ferdinand coming from Berlin.
Yeah, welcome from Berlin with a quick update on our current achievements. I'm gonna read you right now a poem about the past achievements in Berlin and about sustainability in Berlin. Berlin is growing, Berlin is young. We call it multiculti, which is expression for variety and culture. People come from far and near, what brings us richness just right here. But there are problems with migrations, due to people with not enough patience. They don't see the possibilities and gains. They just feel fear and scared of everything new. We face problems such as climate change, need new solutions and help. It can be easy, we just need to share our knowledge and culture and thus be aware of a sustainable future. We don't need our borders anymore. Let's make exchange easier and furthermore, our nationalities get less important. Now we created a system of help and support, making integration as easy as possible, like a sport. To all the haters, this will bring us new solutions in terms of environment, causing less pollutions. Now we're free, and what do we want more? We don't have to fear things like war anymore. Yeah, and now we can go back to the studio with Ryan.
So that's it. We thank you here from Global News Network. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we look forward to another 50 years of sustainability.